Let's do that again in slow motion. The people who are governed elect a president, 100 senators, and 435 representatives. The president appoints a U.S. trade representative, who is confirmed by the Senate. Carla Hills was the trade representative who negotiated NAFTA. Susan Schwab is the current trade representative. Senate confirmation of the trade representative is about as close as the consent of the governed ever gets to NAFTA trade policy. The trade representative is the U.S. representative on the NAFTA Commission. It is the NAFTA Commission that creates trade policies for the three nations and appoints a NAFTA Secretariat to coordinate the implementation of those policies. Let that sink in. The appointed NAFTA Commission creates trade policy for all three nations. NAFTA's Article 511 requires Congress, say that again, requires Congress to conform its laws to NAFTA's uniform regulations. NAFTA working groups, consisting of federal employees throughout several agencies, then impose NAFTA's trade policies on the very people who are governed. Suppose you, as one of the people who are governed, don't like the idea of Mexican trucks delivering goods from Mexican ports to cities across the United States. To whom do you express the absence of your consent for this policy? The NAFTA International Dispute Settlement Tribunal has ruled that the U.S. must allow Mexican trucks to deliver in the United States, and Congress can only complain about it. NAFTA offers two primary options for dispute settlement: the procedures of the World Bank's International Center for the Settlement of Investment Disputes, or the procedures of the United Nations Commission for International Trade Law. This process is the final authority on the NAFTA trade policies that will be imposed on the people who are governed without their consent. When NAFTA went into force in 1994, the Free Trade Area of the Americas was launched with a summit in Miami. These negotiations have continued over the years in an effort to expand the union or community concept to the continent. Negotiations have faltered, and a firm agreement has yet to be reached. CAFTA was adopted in 2005 by only one vote in the House of Representatives. It too is governed by a commission consisting of cabinet-level appointees, who in turn appoint committees and working groups to implement the agreement. CAFTA simply extends and expands the authority of the appointed commission to cover the Central American nations of Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, and the Dominican Republic. The Security and Prosperity Partnership was created March 23, 2005 in Waco, Texas, by Mexico's President Vicente Fox, President George W. Bush, and Canada's Prime Minister Paul Martin. The SPP is neither an agreement nor a treaty. It is simply a dialogue designed to further integrate the three nations. To achieve this integration, each nation appointed government employees to serve on a variety of working groups, to consult with stakeholders to identify concrete steps the government can take to improve trade among the three nations. These working groups cover a wide range of issues, including manufactured goods and sectoral regional competitiveness, movement of goods, energy, environment, e-commerce and information communication technologies, financial services, business facilitation, food and agriculture, transportation, and health. Judicial Watch made a Freedom of Information request which produced detailed information about 16 agencies working to integrate trade policy. A second request produced a wealth of details about several meetings, including a seminar in September 2005 for participating agencies on the future of North America, conducted by Robert Pastor. This belies Michael Medved's declaration that Robert Pastor has no connection to the Bush administration and has zero power in the government. And notes from another meeting in Banff, Canada, on September 12th through the 14th in 2006, which recommended building the SPP infrastructure through evolution by stealth. The third SPP North American Summit is scheduled for August 21 and 22 in Montebello, Quebec, where unelected bureaucrats will continue to erase our borders while further integrating public policies, rules, and regulations by stealth, without the benefit of public input, congressional debate, or approval. Whether it's called a North American Union or a North American Community, the governments of Mexico, Canada, and the United States are working diligently to integrate the laws, the economies, and the culture of these three nations. While Michael Medved and the government continue to call the creation of a North American Union a ridiculous fiction, the indisputable fact remains that every day the three governments are moving to adopt a common external tariff, adopt a North American approach to regulation, establish a common security perimeter, hold annual North American summit meetings, integrate policies through minister-led workshops, utilize a North American Advisory Council, and to work toward a North American Parliament. A few congressmen are trying to stop the North American Union by introducing House Concurrent Resolution 40, which says in part, 1. The United States should not engage in the construction of a North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, superhighway system. 2. The United States should not allow the Security and Prosperity Partnership to implement further regulations that would create a North American Union with Mexico and Canada. And 3. The President of the United States should indicate strong opposition to these acts or any other proposals that threaten the sovereignty of the United States. 14 states have also introduced resolutions of opposition to the North American Union. They include Arizona, Georgia, Idaho, Illinois, Missouri, Montana, Oklahoma, Oregon, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Utah, Virginia, and Washington. Regardless of what the skeptics may say, the North American community is, in fact, under construction. Every day that passes, the three nations melt a little more into one union. The North American Union does not fit within the U.S. Constitution, but this doesn't seem to matter to the instigators or to the people who are allowing it to happen. Every state legislator and every congressman should hear every American say, "Stop the North American Union."
Prepared by Henry Lamb and produced by the Environmental Conservation Organization.